All right, hello everyone. I'm posting this on Thursday, December 7th, or December 5th, excuse me. Thursday, December 5th. And this is just something, a little subjective, but it's all right. Um, Looking at a panic index. As far as how your team is doing on the ice, how, how are you feeling? You feeling really good? Are you ecstatic? You pretty happy with things? You're thinking, meh. Are you concerned or are you panicked? I know, terrible face. I'm not an artist. Anyway, so I thought I would go through each team, and I mean, yes, this is my take on things, but um, I think I can be yeah, pretty much reflective upon each team. And now I'm not getting into anything that's going on off the ice. This is strictly with the team, who's on the team, how the team is performing at this point. How do you feel about things? All right. And I'm going to go through these alphabetically by the moniker, not by the city. So, um, first up is the Binghamton Black Bears. Going to be doing the magnets here. And I looked at things. I thought, they're, they've been struggling to keep defensive men healthy, and yet they're still playing very well defensively. Um, there's a lot of versatility. If one person ends up getting hurt, another person can immediately fill in the role. There's an amazing amount of depth on this team. 13 wins in 16 games. So I think you're happy. Binghamton's one of the favorites going into this year to possibly repeat. And so far, from what you see on the ice, I think you're thinking, yeah, that's a possibility. It's good. All right, Blue Ridge Bobcats. I think you're starting to see the results of what Coach Semlico was hoping to accomplish. I think the team has kind of turned a corner, and you're starting to see some good results on the ice. Um, Obviously, Hunter Verostek, he's a real good feel good story. Um, yeah, you can still use some more stability in the lineup. There's still a lot of changes from week to week, but the team's won 8 out of the first 14 games. I think you put him here. I think pretty happy with things. Um, could be better. Could be a lot worse. All right. Looking at the Dashers now. I don't think you need the panic. We're not going to be putting them over here. We knew going into this season that it was going to be a rough year. That there were going to be a lot of challenges. Probably weren't going to be a whole lot of wins. It's a very, very young team, but they've had solid goaltending from both Walgren and Rutherford. They've got some playmakers up front. The biggest problem is the defense. It just seems like defensively can't get anything going, can't take the heat off the goalies. I had to put him here. You're concerned. You'd like to see some better results. You think the potential is there, but it's just not happening yet. Concern, yeah. Panic, no. All right, going with the Danbury hat tricks next. The fans in Danbury expect a lot, and I think rightfully so. You've got really good goaltending. You've got Johnny Ruiz. You've got a host of other good playmakers, good offensive talent, and especially the new Russians that have come in, um, and yet it seems like, yeah, depending on the day, some days things are going really well, other days kind of spinning your wheels a little bit. So I'm going to put him here. Uh, it's not horrible. It's not optimal either. There's a lot of talent on this club. I think they've kind of underperformed to this point. Um, so they're kind of in the middle as I'm looking at things. All right, for Monroe, this is a first year team, just had a coaching change. They're still competitive. The big thing about Monroe is they lead the league in 1 goal games. 17 games played to this point. 13 of those games have been decided by 1 goal. So, and that's tough. And usually, when you're a first year team, it's hard to come out on the winning end of things in those tight games. So I think there's going to there's a learning process. I think Coach Gill will help them take the next step. But as far as how things are going with the team, um, yeah, how things have been put together, the roster that Parker Mescal put together, I think you've got to be happy. Yeah, you'd like to see more wins, but this team is in it every single night, so that's great for a first year club. That is really, really great. Um, so yeah, I think you have to be happy. Can things be better? Of course, but I think you got a really good start. Season's only a quarter of the way through, so there's still a lot of hockey to be played. The Port Huron Prowlers. You got a great goalie. Nusiainen is fantastic. There's excellent leadership on this team, but there's kind of limited offense. When you look at the team on paper, they should be producing a little bit more than they are. But they're another team. They're never blown out. They're in most of the games right till the very end. Um, yeah, I'm thinking they're kind of okay. Doing all right. Yeah, you definitely could use some more offense, and the personnel are there. For whatever reason, it just hasn't quite come together yet. I'm not sure, but I think it can. Um, yeah, we're going to have them right in the middle. All right, the Columbus River Dragons. There was a lot of panic at the beginning of the year. Oh, we're missing so many people. There's so many new faces. A lot of the old faces are gone. What are we going to do? And then you end up with a whole new goaltending tandem. Well, I know Lavalier isn't new, but he only had a few games with the River Dragons last year, and so he's finding his way. Petizian, he's been hurt. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. But this team is 9-1-3. They're not scoring a ton of goals like thought they would be, but I'm gonna have them amongst the happy crew here. And let me fix this real quick. Yeah, I think you have to be happy with the way things have gone so far in Columbus. Second place in the Continental, and okay, the offense isn't lighting it up, but you got a solid team all the way through. The roster is solid. Okay, Motor City. And despite a lot of returnees, they're just not getting a lot on their return. They, early part of this year, They were giving up a ton of shots. A lot of that had to do with the style that then Coach Steve Shannon was trying to implement. The players were not happy with that. Um, since Jamison Milan has become the head coach, the team seems like they're having more fun. Um, Still struggling to get the results. And of course, having we still don't know how long Babin is going to be out. That's a big part of your team that's missing there. That's your heart and soul. Um, and you don't have true finishers like you had in past years with Scotty Koash and Declan Conway. I don't know. I think I'm going to kind of put him kind of in the middle here. You're not quite, eh. At the same time, you're not like, oh boy, what's going on. You're not worried, but the team has disappointed to this point. I think. I think Rockers fans can agree with me on that. Is we were expecting a lot more this year, and for whatever reason, it just hasn't come together. And you're starting to think, well, we're a quarter of the way through. Is this it? Is this what we got? Or can we get better? So time will tell. Okay, rock lobsters. Rock lobsters. 9-2 on the road. That's a great start. Um, this is a very talent-laden team. Um, they've got a new arena. They've got an experienced team. They got a community just waiting to get behind them. All the pieces are there, and yet they've had to fight and scratch for every win. They've gotten the wins, but it hasn't been easy on most nights. They've had a couple of blowouts, but for the most part, they've had to fight and scrap. I'm putting on the happy level. It's like you're not ecstatic. You think you look at things and you think this could still be better, but what we got, pretty darn good. So yeah, we're not going to complain with that. We're happy. Okay, Mississippi. This team had such high expectations at the beginning of the year. Um, they're on their third head coach this season, and that not really anybody's fault with that, but um, some of the things that you see, you're regularly having penalty issues, constantly finding yourself shorthanded. Um, you're not getting any offense, and there's not anybody really stepping it up. Um, you're now 15 games in the season, and you've won twice. Um, I yeah, you're kind of panicking because it's like if we don't turn this around right now, no delays, the season's going to be lost. There's already a substantial point gap in between Mississippi and everyone else in the Continental, so they're really having to fight their way upstream. So yeah, I think you got to be kind of panicked because this just wasn't supposed to be. This was supposed to be a team that was going to be competitive, and it just most nights it hasn't been. So we'll see. If things turn around with Perrant behind the bench, and now Sam Turner's finally able to get on the ice. We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's kind of do or die time. Carolina, this team, mostly it's the same team as last year. They ended up going to the Cup Finals, playing very well, very solid play from their goaltending. The defense is solid. You had one stinker very early on in the year, but otherwise, you're performing pretty well. The offense is kicking. You got chemistry. Um, yeah. Hmm. Kind of. This is in the same tier here, so I'm running out of room here. So we'll put them in the happy camp. Your happy campers in Carolina, I think. There's no question this team is built for playoff success. Get into the playoffs, you get a good seeding, you make a run. I think you're feeling pretty confident about that. All right, Hudson Valley. Again, I want to stress this is not focusing on off ice stuff. So ignore the, we don't have a home for a moment. Because the team is still playing, the team is getting games scheduled. So that's being taken care of. As far as what's going on the ice, well, you look at things, and on the one hand, on the upside, you have what I've been calling the three-headed monster. You have Gaeta, you have Jasso, you have Norika, uh, and they can score in bunches. Plus, you got Belov. You got good, talented defensive men like Rasmus Asp and Pickford and Pozar. Um, Goalies, on the other hand, it's been a little shaky. Not terrible, but it could be a lot better. Um, I think you're in that middle territory. You're hoping for something better, but you're not sure if it's really possible. The team has only been out of it a couple of times. Usually they're right in the thick of things, so that's good. Um, you're expecting more from the team performance wise, but it could be a lot worse too. So yeah, we'll put them in the middle of the pack. Watertown Wolves, you're ecstatic. You're ecstatic with that, with the way this team has been performing. Yes, it's been a rough past two games, but I mean, this team is scoring in just at will. It seems like goaltending is solid. Hadn't been the last couple of years. Um, you've got a good defensive core. You've got a team that believes in itself. Um, it's not last year's Watertown Wolves or the year before. The Watertown can make a deep run in the playoffs, and so you got to be ecstatic about that. Um, so I think the best is still yet to come too with Watertown. I think they've only shown a glimmer of what they're capable of. So yeah, I think you got to be ecstatic. All right, and then finally we got the Baton Rouge Zydeco. Yeah, there's no question. I mean, you're thrilled. You're thrilled with the way this team has turned out and performed. You're in first place in the Continental. You have 12 wins on the season. I don't think you got your 12th win until early March last year, and already you got 12. This kind of worse the first type of feel. Things really turned around about early to mid March last year, and since then, the job that Everett Thompson has done, uh, fantastic, fantastic. He's really got the team playing well, playing as a unit, and it doesn't hurt that you've had a couple players having standout years so far. Brody Thornton, who right now just got called up to the SP, but he's had a great season, and Elijah Wilson. I mean, we knew he was a good player before, but he's a great player. The defense has exceeded expectations. The goaltending is upgraded. You're playing well in all three zones. You're taking care of business. You're winning games, and yeah. So there you go. So we have three teams up in the upper tier. We have five teams here, and pretty happy. Three teams, yeah. Well, could be better, could be worse. Well, actually, yeah. Motor City, I kind of floated in between here. Concerned, yeah, the Dashers, and then yeah, like I said, it just feels like if Mississippi doesn't start winning games, the majority of their games now, it's going to be too late. So we have them there. So that's our panic index for the first quarter. Let me know what you think. Do you agree with this? Yeah, chime in down in the comments down below. Let me know what you think. Let me know who your team is and what your take is on them. And how are you feeling? How happy are you? How unhappy are you? Let me know. Appreciate it. All right, thanks for watching. This was just kind of a special video to throw in, kind of in the middle. We will have videos this weekend recapping the games. So, thank you for watching. I'm Gary Ryan for the Fed League Flash. Have yourself a great rest of the week.